So applications can be built using either or both of the two below approaches. So how do you build an app or customize an app? There are two approaches in Salesforce to build an app or customize an app. The first approach, we call it the declarative approach, and the second approach, we call it the programmatic approach. So what is declarative and what is programmatic? In declarative, we use point and click wizards in a browser, like a drag and drop. We drag it and drop it. You click something and you configure it, and that works. Okay, so that is called your declarative approach. It requires complete understanding of the Salesforce concepts and toolkits. Got it? And the programmatic approach, it's you need some coding skills. And why the programmatic approach is required? So before you go for programmatic approach, you should be very crystal clear of what are the capabilities of declarative approach. Okay, what I mean by this, most of the things in Salesforce can be done declaratively by point and click solutions. Okay, like creating a database, configuring a database, doing some process automation, scheduling emails, all these things mostly it can be done declaratively with point and click solutions. But when we have a specific requirement that cannot be met with a declarative approach, only then we will go for programmatic approach. So that this decision making, when should we go for a programmatic approach? To know this thing, first you should be very aware of what are the capabilities of the declarative approach. Okay, so if the declarative approach does not support it, only at that time when you need that customization, you go for the programmatic approach. So see here, even I have written that it requires coding skills and allows developers to extend beyond the declarative approach capabilities, right? And it you should be having coding skills and design techniques with code, and some things are there. I'll be coming to it. You can see the subscription model and editions, how Salesforce prices it. So this is the Sales Cloud pricing. Sales Cloud is nothing but applications that are related to your sales process automation. These are different editions that are available: Essential Edition, Professional Edition, Enterprise Edition, and Unlimited Edition. In each of these editions, you can see the pricing here, like 25 USD per user per month, 75 USD per user per month, 150 USD per user per month, and 300 USD per user per month. So this is the edition that you take also tells you what features you get access to. So obviously in the Essentials edition, you're going to get less features. Professional will have some more features. Enterprise will have more features, and Unlimited will have the maximum number of features, that everything that is there in the Sales Cloud. Okay, and as developers or someone who is trying to learn the Salesforce platform, we cannot pay that huge cost, right? So even we do not need to pay that huge cost, because Salesforce knows that there will be people who will be willing to learn the Salesforce platform first, and then they will be interested to work in some projects. So they have created a developer edition. It's a completely free version, and in the developer edition you get all the features. Okay, there is no exception to any of the features that is not available here. You get a fully featured copy of the Lightning platform for free. Now you might be thinking, why don't the businesses use the developer edition? Okay, if or if it is free, anyone can sign up, and if it has all the features, then why not we use the developer edition in the projects? No, you cannot use it. The reason being that, see, it's a platform, right? And in that platform, all your people, like all your employees, sometimes your customers, sometimes your suppliers, they will all want to get access to the Salesforce platform, right? So you will have to give them, you have to create users who can access the platform and see them, right? So in businesses there will be more than 100 users, 200 users, 1000 users, 5000 users who will be using the Salesforce environment. But in a developer edition, okay, you only get uh, the feature of adding maximum 2 users. Okay, you cannot add more than 2 users with the full functionality or full features. Okay, so that's where the limitation lies. So with 2 users, you cannot make it commercial. You cannot use it on a commercial purpose. It's just for your learning purpose only. Okay. So this is your developer edition. It's free edition. We'll be signing up for the free edition in some time. Okay. Highlights of some of the Salesforce features. There's something called a chatter. Okay. So what is chatter? Chatter is like a social forum where you can you can interact with your project team, you can interact with your customers, your clients. Okay. So it's like a portal, it's like your Facebook or your social media basically, where you can interact with each other. You can put post your updates to each other that's related to your business. Okay. And there might be some people whom you do not want to give access to all the features. Okay. Let's say, for example, in your office there is a person who collects all the checks that are deposited and goes to the bank and gets the money in return. So there are some people who will not be directly involved in the business, but their updates is also important for you at the end of the day. Okay. So maybe there are some suppliers who wants to deliver some products to you, some raw materials are being delivered to you about your products and something else. So your chatter is something that you can give access to some other people as well, who, let's say, people who do not have access to all the features. You can just make them have access to chatter. Chatter is not that much costly. It's kind of, you get some free licenses for chatter and you can give it out to some people, right? So that is called chatter. It's a chatting tool, a social forum where you can interact with your people and your customers. There is a global search. You search in one place, and data from different databases can come together in one place. There is something called a schema builder. So what is schema builder? It's like a canvas on top of which you can create your databases. Okay. uh, so here in Salesforce we refer databases as objects. Okay. So these are your objects. So between two objects there might be different types of relationships, like one to many, many to one. These types of relationships might be there. There will be various fields in each of the databases or each of the objects. Okay. And you can see on the left hand side there is a palette from which you can drag and drop it, and you can add those fields in the databases. Okay. Or your objects. So it's a very simple drag and drop approach. Mostly you don't need any coding or anything or your queries to insert a database or modify a database. It's just your point and click solutions that you can do to get it your job done. Next is your page layout. So page layout is again, in the UI perspective, you get a form where, let's say, you have to create a new account of a client. So you create an account. So you need an UI. You need a form, okay, of some input boxes, some date fields, some select drop down box, pick lists. Okay. So there's something called a page layout. You can drag and drop in the page layout. You can arrange it one by one. Okay. You can move it up, down, right, left. Okay. So it's like your UI form that you are designing, like an HTML form you design, but without the use of any coding, without the use of any HTML. Okay. So just drag and drop approach, you can create your own UI forms. Okay. That's called a page layout tool. Next, we have validation rules. Let's say for particular forms, we might be needing some validations. Let's say the opened date cannot be greater than the close date, right? Or the start date cannot be after the end date, right? So this type of validations also you can impose directly, writing some small formulas. It's called validation rules. Next, we have visual flows. So visual flows is also another tool. It's in high demand in the Salesforce. Here you can have different branching. You can have one screen, and that screen branches to different other screens based on some decision making. Some, you can fetch some records. So basically, it's an entire flow that you can create one by one. Okay, I will go through when we'll cover these topics one by one in the sessions. We have a process builder. Okay. So what is process builder? Process builder is nothing but your one of the process automation things. So here, depending on some values, you can maybe send an automatic email, you can send a notification, you can assign a task, create an object, modify the object, you can schedule some actions to do, okay, in the backend. So these are all your automation stuff that you can do. Now, coming to Salesforce interfaces, there are different types of Salesforce, basically two types of Salesforce interfaces. One we call the classic interface. So, classic interface is the old interface. It looks like your more like a desktop interface only, right? It's an old interface, like you can call it like a Windows XP or things like that, right? So it looks quite old because it has been there for a very long time, since the start of the Salesforce till today. It is still there, okay. So that's called the classic interface. And there is a lightning interface as well. It's a much more responsive design. You can open it in a mobile phone, you can open it in a tablet or in a laptop screen or in a bigger screen. So it's responsive, it can open in any what you call ports, or any size of displays, okay. uh, and it looks much better. It's called lightning interface. It was introduced between 2013 and 2015, okay. This is the new interface that we are normally we are using in the Salesforce. But Salesforce has not taken away the access to the classic interface. The reason being that there are various big projects that have been already been developed on the classic. And there are there are some customers who are more inclined towards using the classic platform. So Salesforce have kept the classic as it is. And those who are new to Salesforce, they are concentrating, and the new projects are always being built on the Lightning interface, right? There is a Lightning app builder. So here you can create your applications by point and click solutions to create custom pages for the Salesforce mobile app as well as the Lightning experience. Okay. And there's an easy switch between the two interfaces. As I told you, the classic interface and the Lightning interface. So there's a switch on the top. You click on it, switch to Lightning experience, and you can directly go to the Lightning experience. And from Lightning again, there is a switch to classic, Salesforce Classic, and you can go back to the classic experience. Okay. These are from the programmatic side. This is Visual Force. Visual Force is a Salesforce programming language. It's an HTML-like language that is used basically for creating your classic interfaces, your classic designs, your classic pages. We call it the. It's a native programming language developed by Salesforce themselves. So you cannot use Visual Force outside of Salesforce because it is their own language. It works only within the platform, and it's more like an HTML like tag based programming language. Next, we have Apex. Apex is an object oriented programming language. It is also a native programming language built by Salesforce. It is quite similar to Java, you can say, okay, and it is mainly used to write your business logic, okay. But from Java, it might be derived from Java, but it is way different in things like you can directly have your database queries written inside your classes as well. There are some things called triggers. You can write the triggers that can execute before or after your database insertions. You can have batch Apex, to run multiple jobs or multiple records together in a batch. You can have web services like your callouts, HTTP callouts to different external systems, and things like that. So Apex takes care of all your business logic. And there's Lightning development framework as well. We have two different frameworks in Lightning. We call it the Aura and the LWC. So what is Aura? Aura is nothing but a JavaScript framework for the Lightning. Okay, it's based on the classic JavaScript. It's not the modern JavaScript. It's the classic JavaScript framework that is used. Like it has your HTML, CSS, and things like that. So it's for the Lightning UI. We use the Aura interface. Another framework is there. We call it the Lightning Web Components. It's called the LWC. So LWC is in high demand right now because it's based on modern JavaScript, ECMAScript 6. It is quite similar to your Angular or React or Vue, but it has much more. It's much more simple than other JavaScript languages. So this again is a native language built by Salesforce. It won't work outside the Salesforce platform. Okay. There are some two of the URLs to log into your Salesforce from anywhere. So either you can use login.salesforce.com, which is to log into any of the production environments, and there is a test.salesforce.com, which you can use to log into your sandboxes. Okay, so your sandbox environments. So that's it about complete understanding about the Salesforce and a high level overview of about what is Salesforce. And yeah, that's an end to my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, about the Salesforce platform. If you want to sign up for a developer edition org, I can show you that. um Let me show you. Okay. So there is something called the developer.salesforce.com. Okay, so you go to developer.salesforce.com, and here um, you can sign up. Okay, you fill in your first name, last name, your email address. So let me say I write it like this: Sanjay Swaroop, Sanjay Cloud CRM @gmail.com. My job role, okay, and my company is Hippologic, and my country is India. My postal code and my username. So how will my username look like? Username is will be in a um, email ID format. Okay, it does not have to be a valid email ID. Okay, let's say for example, I'm the batch number, let's say, will be 106. So I'm creating an admin batch 106 @hippologic.in. So this is the name of my company. Okay, so I have here also I have given the name of my company, Hippologic, and hippologic.in. That's what I have written. So it looks like your email ID, but it's not a email ID. You can create your own usernames, and throughout Salesforce, your username should be unique. That is something you have to maintain. Okay, so it should be unique throughout the Salesforce, anyone using it. Okay, so have your username something unique. Do not give directly your email ID. No, make something like your name @company.in or .com, or you can also use the Hippologic, as in Ramachandran @hippologic.in. So that's totally up to you. It's just a username. So after you sign up here, you will get an email on your Gmail account. You will have to wait for 2 or 3 minutes, and you will get the link to set your password. Once you have set your password, you can directly log into the Salesforce environment. Okay, so let me give you how it looks. Okay, so this is the Salesforce platform, right? So from here, I can go to the classic interface, switch to classic. Okay, see, it's an old interface, and again, switch to lightning from here, right? We have different objects here, like your opportunities object. It is used for all my business deals, to store all my business deals, the opportunities that I'm having. This one is called leads. Leads is for all your potential customers who are your prospects. They have not been converted into customers yet, so these are called leads. We have accounts. Accounts is nothing but the name of your clients. Okay, the name of your clients. So Burlington Textiles Corporation, Grand Hotels, Pyramid Construction. These are my clients with whom I do business. Okay, so these are the name of the companies. These are my clients. We call them as accounts. Okay. Next is contacts. Contacts are people who work in the accounts. Okay, so for example, Jack Rogers, uh, who is an employee of Burlington Textiles. So when I do business with Burlington Textiles, my point of contact is Jack Rogers. Okay, so Jack Rogers is a point of contact for that company, right? So these I store as your contact, so that I can reach out to that person whenever I need to talk to that particular client. Okay, so there's the POC from the client. Okay, so these are all your contacts. We have a campaigns object. In the campaigns object, we store all the marketing initiatives. Okay, so what marketing initiatives we had, how much we invested, how many customers we have got from that initiative, things like that we can store here. There's a report and dashboards, so you can create your reports, you can schedule your reports. Okay, you can see your daily reports. Okay, like in the home you can see it's a chart that shows up on your daily sales and quarterly performance, right? So like this, you can create your own charts as per your requirement. This chatter, as I told you, it's a place where you can it's a social forum. You can connect with your team, your company, your manager, your employees, your people, your customers, and your suppliers. All of them you can have communicate using the chatter. And there is a cases. So cases is nothing but your customer issues. So whenever there is a customer raising a concern, you create a ticket, right? So creating a ticket is similar to creating a case here in Salesforce. So when you create a case, that means you are solving some customer issues. So that's what you have under the cases, right?